Hey, what's going on, Archons? Welcome to another edition of KeyThoughts, my weekly vlog on my musings of the game of KeyForge. Oddly enough, though, this week my thought process to bring me to this topic had absolutely nothing to do with KeyForge, but the concept does apply to KeyForge, so I thought, heck, why not? So this week I'm going to be talking about this new topic, which is actually about, I don't know if deck discovery is the right way to phrase it, but it's kind of getting to know your deck. And then I'm going to finish off with the card of the week. Probably be a little bit shorter episode this week. But I've come to realize and been reminded of this fact because yesterday we recorded this week's episode of Help from Future Self. And, this is going to be a good one. You folks are going to enjoy this one quite a bit. And Scuzzy brought up a point about how I've said in the past, knowing what your deck wants to do is a very important part of playing your deck and playing to its strengths, and also accomplishing its win conditions in the way that it desires, because some decks are not as straightforward as others and they require a little more time to get used to and understanding what makes it tick to really get to that point, which is winning the game. Sometimes it is building a big board and then stopping, going in between houses and just utilizing what's on deck. Other times it's digging for cards because you need to get that one card or those two cards that really swing the game in your favor. And sometimes it's just understanding that some houses need to be played early, some houses need to be played late, and just understanding how to make that happen depending on how the heart of the cards is with you. And what made me think of this was I've been getting back into playing the Lord of the Rings LCG, which I haven't picked up for quite some time, like almost a year. And actually almost a year, because I started originally picking it up during the start of the pandemic. And I decided to get back into it, and I got kind of tired of deck building on my own, so I decided to seek the counsel of those who have more experience and greater accolades within the game than myself. And I just went net decked basically, and I've looked for decks that have a really nice description of how they intend the deck to play, what they were thinking when they did it, and why they built the deck the way they did. I like to see that understanding because it just helps get you to the point where you're going to have a nice fluid moments with the game and with the deck itself. And I wanted to really understand this because I find that I was spending so much time building decks and they weren't working out, so it makes you kind of lose interest. So I decided to try a proven deck to kind of get the rhythm for what you want to do in a game of Lord of the Rings LCG to have that success. Like, what are the components that bring success? So this way, when I do go to deck build in the future, I'll have that understanding. But I felt the concept really applied to KeyForge as well. It's getting that understanding of how the deck plays, and sometimes to do so, it's very handy to take notes of your gameplay. And I'm a big fan of going on a 10 game dive into a deck, and actually each game you make a note of what set you played, what houses were in the deck that you played, and then just anything that stood out. Was it a close game? Did you get stomped? Was anything happening that swung the game in your favor or against you? And just remember this, make these notes, do your diligence to actually understand and analyze the deck more so than just playing games and not doing any kind of analytical exercise to look back and try and correlate any data that may help you unlock it, especially if it's a deck that you foresee having potential and you really want to work at and enjoy more. So that's just something that I wanted to pass on, because I was reminded of it both by Scuzzy when we recorded this week, yesterday in fact, and then also playing Lord of the Rings and getting to know this deck and getting a few games in and seeing what causes success in that, because now I understand the mechanics of the game, and especially within this deck, that's going to help me tweak things in the future when I want to build. So, on to the card of the week. Well, actually, it's cards of the week this time, because that's right, it's the Senshell Sargassa, and I have the evil and the regular one here. The very first deck I played had the regular one, and then my most recent evil twin had that version. And for those of you who don't know, the card states that after the original non-evil one says, after a player raises the tide, a creature they control captures 2 from their opponent. So it creates a global board state where when the tide is changed, there is captured Ember happening. So it creates the opportunity for your opponent to use some Ember control without them owning the card that is causing that to exist. It also creates some interesting play where if your opponent has the tide, you may actually leave them with the tide when you're in check because you know that next turn they could just call the tide and potentially take you off check. So that's one really cool thing about that. It creates that proposition. Now the Evil Twin version states, after a player raises the tide, Senshel Sargassa captures 2 from your opponent, which means every time the tide is raised either by you or your opponent, your creature, this Seneschal Sargassa, is capturing 2 Ember, which makes it so that if you have certain cards that require your opponent to take the tide away from you, you could really be hurting your opponent and creating the pinata effect on Senshal Sargassa. So I think that's a really interesting one. I think I actually like the Evil Twin version more because it creates more headaches for your opponent. And just another cool thing that shows how these Evil Twin things make stuff very interesting. So that's going to do it for this episode. Just curious on your thoughts about what my thoughts were on getting to know your deck and taking those notes to truly understand it. The thing that I also wanted to state for now is it is the beginning of the month again, which means anyone's name who was drawn last month is now back into the pool. We are drawing decks and the Patreon supporters went up. So that means we're going to be doing 3 draws this month. So stay tuned for that. They will be in the Bag of Decks episode this month, and that'll be kicking off next week. So be sure to tune in and see if you are drawn. And if you want to win some of these decks, get on my Patreon, check out the different levels there depending on how many entries you want. And if you want to have your deck analyzed like I did for Vault Boy, you submit a deck to me and I'll make a video of it. And if you wish that for your own personal usage or for me to talk about it on my YouTube channel, it's up to you. And yeah, there's only a few spots, so go check that out if that's something you're interested in. And don't forget that I will be streaming tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, for my weekly streaming. This week is pretty much all Dark Tidings and an AOA deck. Actually 2 AOA decks, so it's Dark Tidings and AOA this week. So I hope you like that. And as always, folks, may your Ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.